Alright, let's try out Doom the Dark Ages path tracing with the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB. All the specs you can see right here. And paired it up with the 9800X 3D and 64GB of RAM DDR5 memory running at 6000 MHz. So yeah, let's get into the benchmark and see how things go in this card. Okay, starting things off on 1440p with DLSS performance and path tracing turned on. It's a DLSS performance because on DLAA it's going to be really terrible, which we will get into pretty soon. But let's just start it off on DLSS performance just to see how it works. And we're setting it to Ultra preset with the texture pool size set to the lowest. We're using about 7.7 GB of VRAM out of the 16 GB. And we are in the game and getting 71 FPS. But keep in mind this is a closed area level or stage, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're getting close to 60 FPS. And it will drop down below 60 like pretty frequently. You can see the 0.1% loss is 36 FPS. And we are still above 9 GB of VRAM usage. Pretty much maxing out the GPU. The GPU usage is 98%, so it's pretty much maxed out. So yeah, this is the inside area, and we are dropping down below 60 FPS, even on DLSS performance. Okay, now let's try DLAA instead of performance, and see how much the FPS drops. So from almost 60 to less than 20, like barely 20 FPS. And that's how it is on DLAA 1440p with path tracing on. Alright guys, so it is kind of playable. It's way better than the RTX 5060, that's for sure. And it's slightly playable. The only reason is because we have more than 8 GB of VRAM. If this one had 8 GB of VRAM, we can expect similar kind of performance to a 5060, maybe like 2 FPS better or something like that. Or the experience is gonna be pretty much the same. Even here now, during the fight scene, it's like really terrible. So let's try going down to 1080p. So you guys see what it was on DLAA 1440p native settings with path tracing. I'll see 1080p, and 1080p gives us almost 30 FPS experience. But even then, it's just a cinematic experience right now on 1080p on a fight scene. And look at the VRAM usage, it's using more than 10 GB of VRAM, even on 1080p. So any card with 8 GB of VRAM, you're gonna see a lot of stuttering, just like with the previous 5060 video that I did. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be up here. So that was a really horrible experience. So path tracing with the 5060 was not possible at all. But in this case, it's actually possible because of the more VRAM that we have. Okay, now let's see DLSS balanced instead of DLSS performance, because this is 1080p, right? So DLSS balanced means it's still significantly from a lower resolution upscaled. But the game looks pretty clear for what it is, and we're getting more than 60 FPS in this area. And this is considered a closed area, not an open area like Chapter 7, which we will be testing out in a few minutes. But yeah. In these areas, in these linear closed areas, then you can get more than 60 FPS, even though it drops here and there. It's a pretty smooth experience on DLSS balanced with the path tracing on and ultra preset. Still using more than 8 GB of VRAM. Okay, now let's go back to Chapter 6, I think Siege Part 1. This is the open area stage, and in this stage, expect a little bit of a lesser FPS because it's an open area and it needs more processing compared to a linear stage like the one we saw before. So we are in the same settings, but except DLSS balance, you're going DLAA. Okay, everything else is the same, ultra and path tracing turned on, and we are in the open area getting 31 FPS, 39. So as I thought, it's not a significant difference. Okay, you're still getting about 25, 26 FPS, and I just cannot believe I just died to this thing in this map, in this area for the first time ever. Okay, I've never died to these guys like this area ever, and that was the first time. I suck. And yeah, so 28 something FPS is all you can get in this area as well, so do not expect any major dip or increase in performance compared to the linear area. And yeah, so that's DLAA 1080p. Alright, now we are trying it back to turning it back to the DLSS performance with 1080p. So this is basically like 540p or 480p, something like that. And now we are finally able to get close to 60 FPS. Still not consistent, but it is definitely playable with path tracing on. So in order to play this game, the best way is to go 1080p and go DLSS performance to even play this game with path tracing on to get a smooth 60 FPS experience. But I'm not done though. I'm gonna be back right here in the same area after I do a little overclock. So the overclocking setting will be max out the power limit to 111% and then get the core clock to additional 300 and the memory clock to plus 2000 megahertz. So that is the overclock that we were going with. And I did recently make a video on the 5060 overclock in a bunch of games. If you guys are interested in seeing that, it's gonna be up here. But yeah, we are back in the game again. Same settings and the same area. This is performance and everything. So we were able to get close to 60 or like 61, 62 FPS. But with the overclock, we are reaching almost 80 FPS, which will be reduced in a moment. But this will guarantee a 60 plus FPS experience. As you guys can see, it is staying well above 60, 66, 65. Well, it does drop down into the 50s a little bit. But still though, this is much more playable experience compared to the other one. With the 0.1% loss is way better than the stock settings. So if I were to play the game like this, I would. If I don't have any other choice and I'm running the game like this, yeah. Now let's try on DLAA. And our DLAA settings unfortunately doesn't improve that much. I don't know, it's just native settings and path tracing doesn't go well with this card. Unfortunately, even with the 16 GB of VRAM, this card doesn't have enough ray tracing cores to be able to process all of this good stuff and run it fast enough, render it fast enough on DLAA settings. So the best way is to just go down with the DLSS performance or something and play at more than 60 FPS. Now let's try going down to low settings actually. So instead of ultra settings, we're going low settings just to see how it is, and you can see it did improve like a few FPS from 31 to 34, 35. I mean, it doesn't make a big difference and you lose a lot of texture quality and everything. And to me, it's not worth it. I'd rather go DLSS performance and ultra settings instead of low settings. But yeah, this is what you can get with DLAA native with path tracing on, even on low settings. Not getting even close to 30 FPS. So yeah, that is how it is if you're playing it on low settings. So my recommendation is gonna be, if you want to play this game with path tracing maxed out and everything, the best way is go to 1080p and turn the settings to DLSS performance. Or if you want, you can go balanced. I think you can. No, I mean, never mind. It's gonna still drop down below 60 if you go balanced. So just stick to DLSS performance and overclock your card. It is 100% safe to overclock it to the limit that I did. Nothing bad is gonna happen. You can see the GPU temp is still under 60 degrees Celsius. So that is my recommendation for Dome the Dark Ages path tracing on the 5060 Ti. And yeah guys, that's all I gotta say. DLSS performance and ultra settings give you a smooth 60 plus FPS experience on 1080p with the 5060 Ti. And just do the overclock, you will be absolutely fine. Alright guys, so I hope you guys find this video helpful. If it did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing a lot more videos like this in the future on different GPUs and everything. So I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.